Good morning, Hendricks Elementary. This is Mrs. Tijerina coming to you on day 4 of National Library Week. This week we celebrate poetry, and our theme today is celebrate April as National Poetry Month. And April is a month where we learn about poetry, where we can write some poetry, learn about poetry. So today I picked a work by a poet named Shel Silverstein. He is represented by Harper Collins Publishers, so I want to thank them for allowing us to use his works. And then I'm going to read you some short poems that can be found in books of poetry by the same author. I hope that you enjoy. And then maybe when you're done listening, you can be inspired to write a poem about why you love reading or why you love the library. Okay, and then if you share those with your teachers, they will share them with me, and I cannot wait to see them. This is called The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come, and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns, and play king of the forest, and swing from her branches and eat apples. And they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy loved the tree very much. And the tree was happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older, and the tree was often alone. Then one day the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb my trunk, and swing from my branches, and eat apples and play in my shade, and be happy." "I am too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money." "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I only have leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city, and then you will have money and you will be happy." So the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples, and he carried them away, and the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy and said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "I am too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "But the forest is my house. But you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy." So the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time. And when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy, come and play." "I am too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." So the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really. And after a long time, the boy came back. "I am sorry, boy," the tree said, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone." "My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them." "I am too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb." "I am too tired to climb," said the boy. "I am sorry," sighed the tree. I wish that I had something to give. I wish I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I am just an old stump. I am sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening up as much as she could. "Well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down. Sit down and rest." And the boy did, and the tree was happy. And that was the end of that short story written by that author. It is error-testable. It's a little emotional, and every time I read it, I think of how we take advantage of nature sometimes, how we don't appreciate the things that it gives us. And I think that's what the story is trying to remind us of. And I hope that you liked it. Now I'm going to read you a few short poems that can be found in some poetry books in the poetry section. The call number is 811. So if you go to the 800s in our informational text, you can find all the books that are listed as poetry. Poems can be short, poems can be long. Sometimes poetry has rhyming words, sometimes they don't. All poems are different, and so you'll see a variation of some different poems, all by the same poet, and I hope that you enjoy them. The first one is called The Poet Tree. Underneath the poetry, come and rest a while with me, and watch the way the word web weaves between the shady story leaves. The branches of the poet tree reach from the mountains to the sea. So come and sit and dream and climb. Don't just get hit by falling rhymes. This one is found in a book called Falling Up by Shel Silverstein. The next one is a funny one. It's in a different book called A Light in the Attic. And this one's very funny. And we all wish that it was true if it worked. It's called The Homework Machine. The homework machine, oh, the homework machine, the most perfect contraption that's ever been seen. Just put in your homework and drop in a dime. Snap on the switch, and in 10 seconds' time, your homework comes out quick and clean as can be. Here it is, 9 plus 4, and the answer is 3. 3? Oh me, I guess it's not perfect as I thought it would be. That one's a little silly, funny poem. Again, in a book called A Light in the Attic. This one is called Sick. I cannot go to school today, said little Peggy Ann McKay. I have the measles and the mumps, a gash, a rash, and purple bumps. My mouth is wet, my throat is dry. I'm going blind in my right eye. My tonsils are as big as rocks. I've counted 16 chicken pox. And there's one more, that's 17. And I don't And don't you think my face looks green? My leg is cut, my eyes are blue. It might be instamatic flu. I cough and sneeze and gasp and choke. I'm sure that my left leg is broke. My hip hurts when I move my chin, and my belly button's caving in. My back is wrenched, my ankle sprained, my appendix pain each time it rains. My nose is cold, my toes are numb. I have a sliver in my thumb. My cheek is stiff, my voice is weak. I hardly whisper when I speak. My tongue is filling up my mouth. I think my hair is falling out. My elbows bent, my spine ain't straight. My temperature is 108. My brain is shrunk, I cannot hear. There's a hole inside my ear. I have a hangnail, and my heart is, what? What's that? What's that you say? You say today is Saturday? Goodbye, I'm going out to play. And that's the end. And you can see that she wasn't very sick after all. The last one is a fun one, very long and wordy. This one's called Sarah Cynthia Stout Would Not Take the Garbage Out. I'm going to start that one again. Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout would not take the garbage out. She'd scour the pots and scrub the pans, candy the yams and spice the hams. And though her daddy would scream and shout, she simply would not take the garbage out. So she piled it to the ceilings, coffee grounds, potato peelings, brown bananas, rotten peas, chunks of sour cottage cheese. It filled the can, it covered the floor, it cracked the window and blocked the door. With bacon rinds and chicken bones, drippy ends of ice cream cones, prune pits, peach pits, orange peel, gloppy gumps of cold oatmeal, pie crust with withered greens, soggy beans and tangerines, crusts of black burnt buttered toast, gristly beats of beefy roasts. The garbage rolled on down the hall. It raised the roof. It broke the wall. Greasy napkins, cookie crumbs, globs of gooey bubble gum, cellophane from green bologna, rubber blubbery macaroni, peanut butter caked and dry, curdled milk and crusts of pie, moldy melons, dried up mustard, eggshells mixed with lemon custard, cold French fries and rancid meat, yellow lumps of cream of wheat. At least the garbage reached so high that it finally touched the sky, and all the neighbors moved away, and none of her friends would come to play. And finally, Sarah Cynthia Stout said, "Okay, I'll take the garbage out." But then, of course, it was too late. The garbage reached across the state, from New York to the Golden Gate, and there, in the garbage, she did hate. Poor Sarah met an awful fate that I cannot right now relate, because the hour is much too late. But the children remember Sarah Stout, and always take the garbage out. Now, this is one character that we do not want to be like. We do not want to be like Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout. We do not want to live in a home full of garbage or even a world full of garbage. A lot of these poems that this author writes, boys and girls, have to do with the earth. And yesterday we celebrated Earth Day. And this one in particular about throwing out the garbage, and I think we can tie it into taking care of the earth and making sure that Not only do we keep our homes clean and free of garbage, but our earth free of garbage, recycle the things that can be recycled, and just take care of our earth. I hope that you enjoyed today and the short story and poems that I read. I hope that it will inspire you to be a poet. Remember, the poems don't have to rhyme. I think we normally think of poems and having those rhyming words and a rhythm, but there are all types of poems. And if you look up poetry, you'll realize that all poems are different. Sometimes poems are written in shape, to make a certain shape of something. Sometimes, like I said, they have rhyming words, but other times they don't. So I want you to be creative. I want you to think about how you could create a poem, either about reading or why you love the library, because this week we celebrate reading and the library, and see what you can write. I will see you back tomorrow. I hope that you all have a great one, and we will see you soon.